Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers.
Happening, my YouTube family. Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Tuesday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive blessings and vibrations to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that the Los Angeles Lakers are off. They were off on yesterday, they off today, they off Wednesday, and they are off Thursday. And that is some pretty good news. So in this downtime, I just wanted to talk about some of the things that the Los Angeles Lakers have been doing as of late to improve, as they have constantly been improving. And I know they just won their third game of the year, so I'm not getting ahead of myself. But I think that this rest comes right at the right time, because it gives LeBron time not only to heal himself of the groin injury that he's suffering, but it also gave him time to rest that foot without having to put a lot of pressure on it by making the moves that he makes throughout the game. So hopefully LeBron can come back fully rested, and the Lakers will be taking on Detroit on Friday night. And I'm thinking that they could handle Detroit without LeBron James. If he can take another day off and have a full week off, I think that would be tremendous for him and his health. And of course, the Lakers, I think they had the Suns after that, but then they play San Antonio twice back to back. So, and San Antonio is definitely not a rollover team. We know that, as they have been being pretty competitive so far this year. So I'm not just saying it's a gimme win, but what I really want to focus on today's show is the play of none other than Lonnie Walker and also that of Austin Reeves. Now, their play has been exceptionally well, especially if you think about the last two games, because Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves, the past two games, have shot over 50%, and Walker's been averaging 22 points a game, and Austin Reeves has been averaging 17 points a game. And I know that is a very small window, but that is just giving them confidence to build for themselves, because they get a lot of catch and shoot plays, even when LeBron James is in the game. And, on catch and shoot, Walker's 35% and on threes, and Reeves is 39% on threes. And that's been, for the past three games, actually, for catch and shoot threes. And I think, those are the majority of the threes, instead of just having, coming up the court and pulling up, versus catching and shooting, or maybe even dribbling and creating for yourself. We're talking simply catch and shoot for those percentages. But the Lakers are creeping up in three-point percentage. Lo and behold, they were damn near dead last. But if you look at just a sample of the past three games, and I know it's just a smaller sample, but it's only going to help increase their average as the season wears on, because it is a long season. But the Lakers were like 14th in the league the past three games in three-point percentage. And, Reeves has been playing excellent defense. Lonnie Walker's actually been playing excellent defense. And if you look at it just from numbers, from defensive statistical evidence, it points to Lonnie Walker being the fifth most productive defender and Reed being the third most productive defender on the roster. And I mean, that is, very, very important, because, they deflect a lot of balls. They keep a lot of possessions alive. They defend their man well. They fight around pick and rolls well. They close out on three-point shots well. And, if they continue to score like this, they're actually going to be considered as, dare I say it, 3-and-D players in this NBA, because that is what a lot of teams look for. You're going to have your superstars on every team. You're going to have your Joel Embiids. You're going to have your Giannis Antetokounmpo. You're going to have your, Damian Lillard, whoever, but you have to have guys who, role players, who could shoot that three, who not necessarily star players, like, let's say, a Desmond Bane for the Memphis Grizzlies come to mind. He soon, I think, will become a star, although he's unfortunately injured at this current moment. But, Desmond Bane plays excellent defense, and he's an excellent three-point shooter. So, you have to have players like that. And if Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker continue to play at how they're playing, and not only that, they finishing good at the rim too, because I don't know if you know this, but Walker, at the rim, I think is the highest. Out of all the people that's on the Lakers team, he has the highest percentage at the rim, and that's even over LeBron James. And forgive me, that's actually Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves has the highest shooting percentage of any Lakers player within 5 feet of the rim, if you think about it. And he gets and ones at times. And you got to think, Austin Reeves percentage at the rim is 78%, and that's one of the tops in the league. You shooting 78% from 5 feet or in. That is excellent. Lonnie Walker is shooting 54%, and his is slightly lower because, well, a lot lower, but still over 50% because he tends to shoot a lot more floaters and things of that nature. When Austin Reeves gets to the basket, it's usually a lay-in, but both of them are finishing great on fast break. I mean, when it comes to when they turn the other team over and they get back on break, they finishing at the rim. Lonnie Walker is very creative. So now you see Lonnie Walker, who's been shooting excellent from 3, shooting 5 out of 9 one game, turn around and shoot 5 out of 7, 4 out of 8, shooting 50% from 3 is going to be very important because Westbrook has picked up as of late to become at least a respectable 3-point shooter, not a threat per se, but if you want to give him that cushion, he's taking them and making them actually a whole lot better than what he was before. And he's had a few games where he's been 2 or 4, 3 out of 5, shooting over 30 and 40% too in a couple of games for Westbrook. So, and I also want to focus on none other than Wayne and Gabriel. Wayne and Gabriel, I mean, he has been a very good defender for the Lakers too. His opponents at the rim, he's actually has a better defensive rating than Anthony Davis within 5 feet of the rim. His opponents, when he's defending somebody against the rim, they're only making 35%. They're only making 35% of their shots against him at the rim. So, I mean, you got to really think about it. And Wayne and Gabriel is really making a lot of plays on defense. He is, fighting for loose balls, especially tip-ins, keeping plays alive, extra possessions, things that might not necessarily show up on a stat sheet. And I did look at some advanced statistics on Wayne and Gabriel. He averages 6 deflections a game. And it might not turn into a steal, but it can halt a possession, anything, that contributes to making the defense working harder. And Anthony Davis is averaging 6 or 7 deflections a game himself. So when you get them together, they both, are a threat to deal with. And speaking of that, the Lakers are set to have Thomas Bryant appear in his first game this Friday night, along with Dennis Schröder. So that leads me to the Dennis Schröder issue that I would like to talk about, because I would imagine that Westbrook is still going to be coming off the bench. And if Westbrook is still going to be coming off the bench, Pat Bev has been getting the starting nod, along with, Austin Reeves. I would say Troy Brown, but of course, Lonnie Walker has been back. So you're looking at Lonnie Walker, but they went small the other day against the Nets, and they started with Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown, Austin Reeves, Anthony Davis, and Pat Bev. So, I like how Ham is actually using his coaching mind in that sense by not necessarily just putting out the typical lineup. And he thought about, Brooklyn not really having a dominant big man, no offense to Claxton, but, having the lineup that he had. But now that the Lakers are going to have a true center and a rim protector, and that is Thomas Bryant, I think that will allow AD to play that 4 spot, and he can roam more freely on the defensive end of the floor. And he can still, close out on the weak side because he will be more free to roam, not having to play a center straight up in the paint. So that it gives him more flexibility to roam the floor on the defensive front, especially, on switches. If the Lakers tend to switch. The Lakers, I like how they got away from switching everything, how Vogel used to do, and play a lot more straight up. I've noticed that, and even though they do get caught in switches, in some instances when players can't fight their way through and they end up getting switched up, it's still been excellent defense by the Lakers. And I know they started off high in defense and failed some, and that was probably those games against Utah that did it, because Utah put up phenomenal numbers. But, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, if the Lakers can win more games while LeBron is sitting and resting, that is only going to be better, and they're going to get to the softer part of their schedule coming up. Every team that they have played thus far was over 500 or potential playoff teams, except for Sacramento. And we see Sacramento wasn't no slouches, because you saw what Sacramento did to Golden State the other night. And Golden State, speaking of which, they have yet to win a road game. The defending champions yet to win a road game. So it's just tough sledding in the NBA, man. Nobody is giving you anything easy out here. So one thing I did want to talk to you all about, though, put in the comments who you think the Lakers starting lineup should be once Dennis Schroeder comes back. I was alluding to Russell Westbrook still coming off the bench. I wouldn't mind, to be honest, to see Westbrook, at least while LeBron is out, inserted back into the starting lineup, because the purpose of Westbrook being on the bench was because him and LeBron were 2 ball-dominant players. So Westbrook is actually playing very well with AD. So I wouldn't mind seeing Westbrook inserted back into the starting lineup with AD. and then have Schröder come off the bench. But then again, Westbrook has been doing a phenomenal job with the bench players and being that shot in the arm that the bench players need, So I'm imagining that Dennis Schröder would become the starting point guard, much to probably the dismay of a Russell Westbrook. Let's just hope this doesn't make him feel some type of way, just because Schröder coming in and, being Westbrook being the player that he is, he might take some sort of offense to that, but let's hope not. And he can continue his good play. So I would say, not necessarily relegate Pat Bev to the bench. It depends on the defensive assignment, but I would imagine if it was my choice, I would relegate Pat Bev to the bench, just because he's not bringing anything offensively right now. And the Lakers cannot afford to keep starting games off slow and falling behind. So I would say Dennis Schröder as the starting point, and then have Austin Reeves as your 2, and then Lonnie Walker as your 3, then AD as your 4, Thomas Bryant as your 5. Then you have a rim protector, you have AD. And some might say, well, you packing the paint too much because, that's going to take away. But you got AD who can still, get out and spread the floor and not necessarily pack the paint. Or if you choose to bring in Thomas Bryant, with the second unit and have him play alongside of Wayne and Gabriel, then that's fine as well, because you could also have a lineup of, Dennis Schröder as the point guard, still have Pat Bev as the 2. Then you can go Lonnie Walker at the 3, and then you can go Wayne and Gabriel at the 4 and AD at the 5. And then you also have choices to put, because Gabriel's been holding his own as a rim protector. Now, he can't go up against anybody like Embiid or anything like that, but he's put on a little bit more muscle mass this year, and he's actually hit a 3 the other night. So I think he can be valuable, playing that 5 spot as well, which he has shown he can do with Westbrook off the bench. So it's just going to be a whole lot of different options, and that's what it's all about. You have to be able to mix and match. And I'm starting to grow more confidence in these Lakers players because they're gaining confidence in themselves. We're not even mentioning the young rook, Doug Christie, who has played exceptionally well last game, didn't get any points, but went out and got 9 big boards that helped the Lakers secure victory. So, I'm excited. There's more to come. I know the Lakers don't play until Friday, so put down in the comments, if you want me to make another LeBron video, whatever y'all want me to do, man, I'm ready to do it. Just let me know. But I did want to chime in on, the situation with Dennis Schröder coming back, as well as Thomas Bryant and potentially LeBron James. And then that's when I'm thinking the Lakers about to go on a little win streak. I promise you that. You have to build chemistry. If you look around the league, a lot of these teams been together for a long time. These are relatively all new players on this squad yet again this year, minus LeBron, AD, and Austin Reeves. And you would say Westbrook, but they didn't get a whole lot of playing time last year because AD was hurt. So you still got to think that chemistry never got built last year. So, woe be. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's coming. And then when that thunderstorm comes, everybody who already retweeting LeBron will never miss the playoffs and how I feel, everybody who wake up praying for the next man downfall, y'all going to be looking real silly real soon. So as always, man, if you haven't done so already, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. And as always, man, it's your boy B New. I'm saying right on to the real. Much love to these haters. I'm out.